Assalamu alaikum. I am Rakan Kayali. Welcome to Practical Islamic Finance. In this episode, we will be answering the question, insurance in Islam, halal or haram? A good place to start is with a definition of what insurance is. Here's a health insurance company explaining how their product works.
When you sign up for coverage, you join a group of other people to combine your healthcare purchasing power. Your insurer covers the whole group rather than individuals, so everyone shares the cost of staying healthy. Example. Gary takes care of himself, and he's a healthy guy, but it's his first time skiing. Moments after stepping off the lift, he plummets down the wrong slope and hits a tree. Just then, his wife calls to inform him that she's about to deliver twins. His broken leg and concussion can cost thousands to treat, and depending on the circumstances, the birth of his twins could cost anywhere from a few thousand to 100,000 or more. Fortunately, Gary has health insurance. Remember that group we spoke of? Since the costs are spread out over everyone, the people in Gary's group are actually helping to offset his costs. Gary's share of the cost to treat his injuries and deliver his kids will be a lot less, because his insurer is betting that the money the group pays in will offset the total costs of their health expenditures for the year. In a sense, the healthy people in the group help pay the costs when someone is sick or injured, knowing that the same help will be there when they need it.
So from an Islamic perspective, insurance is a good application of the Quran's commandment in Surah Al-Ma'idah to cooperate in matters of righteousness and piety. For what is more righteous than the healthy taking care of the sick and the able taking care of the disabled, and the families who have a breadwinner taking care of the families that lost theirs? These righteous acts happen when people come together through insurance. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, says, "Whosoever reduces the burden of a worldly calamity on a believer, Allah will reduce a burden of the hereafter on them." Insurance is the embodiment of helping others in times of calamity. The payments you are making to the insurance company with which you are purchasing protection for yourself are partially going as profit to the insurance company, and the other part is going to some other insured person who has had a difficult event happen to them. So you're reducing the burden of a worldly calamity on this person and adhering to the Prophet's commandment to do just that. Unfortunately, in very recent history, some prominent voices have deemed insurance to be prohibited in Islam. Most notably, in 1977, the Islamic Fiqh Council, in its first session, ruled to prohibit commercial insurance. There was a dissenting view in the council, which I'd like to recognize here, which is that of Sheikh Mustafa al-Zarqa, who saw that there was no credible objection to commercial insurance. You can read both the opinion of the council and the dissenting opinion of Sheikh al-Zarqa in the info section of this video. The tragedy is that since the ruling of the Islamic Fiqh Council, many Muslims have voluntarily deprived themselves from the benefits of insurance in order to adhere to what they are told their religion requires.
Hamza from Pakistan asked about life insurance. Commercial life insurance is absolutely forbidden. And when I say it is absolutely forbidden, based on, there is a general consensus. Anything that opposes view does not even count.
The question is, what about insurance companies? What's the ruling on insurance companies? Insurance is haram.
Our brother Jihad is asking about the view of Islam on insurances. First of all, to begin with, all insurances are haram in Islam. You name it. All insurances are haram.
Now, of course, those who think insurance is prohibited in Islam have specific objections that they cite. So I'd like to address these specific objections in a way that leaves no doubt in the minds of the viewers. Let's start with objection number one.
Why يا شيخ نهى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عن بيع الغرر. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم banned us from selling and buying where the benefit is not known. And that's what insurance is about. It's really deceiving thing. Somebody may be buying insurances all his life and he never gets anything out of his monthly payment. And somebody else will get everything and more. So this is called bay' al-gharar, where the benefit for the buyer and the seller is not known.
The response to this is that there is a mistake here in the definition of gharar. It is being implied that gharar arises in transactions where the benefit is unknown. This is demonstrably false on account that it is very rare for anyone to know beforehand the exact benefit they are going to receive from something they've purchased. You can buy a pair of sunglasses and lose them before you ever wear them. You can pay to have your car equipped with airbags and never get in an accident and never use those airbags. You can purchase a fire alarm and no fire ever occurs in your house, and you've never used a fire alarm. So the benefit of a lot of things that you purchase are not known beforehand. So it can't be true that gharar arises in transactions where the benefit is unknown, because most or a lot of transactions have benefits that are unknown beforehand. So what is gharar? Well, let's look at what the Prophet, peace be upon him, actually said about it. The examples that he gave us are the sale of fish in the sea or a calf in its mother's womb. In these examples, it's not the benefit of the sale that is doubtful, but rather what is being sold. With fish in the sea, you don't know how many fish there are, how much they weigh, what type of fish they are, or even if you'll be able to catch them. The same is true with a calf in its mother's womb. I don't know what's in the mother's womb. It could be male, it could be female, it could be twins, the fetus could come out dead. So gharar arises when the purchaser doesn't know what it is exactly that they are buying, not when the benefit is unknown. In insurance, what you've purchased is very precisely known. Namely, it's an amount of protection in case a certain event occurs. This is known with the utmost amount of precision. You know how much financial protection the insurance will afford you. You know what events the insurance will cover and over what time period. I suppose a source of confusion for those who say insurance involves gharar is that they think an amount of money is being purchased by the insured and that amount of money is unknown. But if the purpose of getting insured is to receive an amount of money, people who had insurance would hope to use their insurance in order to collect the money. But that's not the case. People who have medical insurance don't hope to fall ill. People who have disability insurance don't hope to become disabled. People who have accident insurance don't hope to crash their car. People who have insurance hope they never need it. So they are certainly not purchasing money. What they are purchasing is an amount of protection. And in most cases, hoping they never need it. Once one understands that gharar arises not when the benefit of sale is unknown, but rather when the object of sale is unknown, and that the object of sale in insurance is an amount of protection and not an amount of money, it's immediately apparent that insurance does not involve any gharar. On to the next objection.
Insurance is haram because insurance is gambling. Insurance, give us 2,000 dirhams and we insure your car to a liability of 3 million dirhams. A whole year passes, nothing happens. My 2,000 dirhams are down the drain. Good luck, pay another one. I make an accident worth of 1 million, they pay it off. So it is like lottery. Buy a lottery ticket for 100 dirham and win a Porsche, or lose 100 dirham. This is haram, this is gambling.
Commercial insurance, and this picture is when we pay a commercial company monthly payments in order to collect the policy in case that the subscriber expires, or if he is in a car accident or whatever. We say in most cases people do not get what they paid, or they get more than what they have paid. And this is exactly the form of gambling. You can just pay one single month, and if the person dies, he collects $100,000 or $1 million, depending on how much was the policy. What did you do in order to collect this money and leave it for your family?
So, okay, we've mentioned before that people who buy insurance are not trying to make money, and that's readily apparent. They do buy insurance to avoid financial hardship. No one buys insurance because they want to get rich, because anyway, insurance companies only compensate the insured in an amount that is commensurate with the damage that they incurred. And oftentimes the insured never even touches the money that is paid out by the insurance company. It goes directly to the medical care provider or the auto mechanic or whoever provided the remedial service for the event that is insured against. If you say insurance is gambling because minimal effort is being put into earning the money that is paid out by the insurance company, what's your stance on inherited money? How much effort is put in by heirs to earn the wealth they've inherited from the deceased? Is inherited money forbidden in Islam because no effort was put into its acquisition? If you say insurance is like gambling because the amount of benefit you received is based on chance, the same could be said about a lot of things. Take a security guard, for example. The amount of benefit you receive from hiring a security guard is based on whether or not you get robbed. Something you have zero control over. So is hiring a security guard forbidden in Islam? Other than trying to get rich, people gamble because they find it entertaining. When was the last time you heard of anyone buying insurance because they wanted to have a good time? If you think of gambling as an unnecessary assumption of risk that can cause financial loss, the logical question to ask is not whether having insurance is gambling, but rather is not having insurance a form of gambling? With all the unexpected expenses that we face in life, and how expensive things have become, and the fact that many people go bankrupt even with the support of insurance, one can make a strong argument that voluntarily choosing not to have insurance is a form of gambling. We know that one of the reasons Islam prohibits gambling is because it often causes financial hardship for the players. When was the last time you heard of anyone experiencing financial hardship because of insurance? Isn't it the other way around? Don't people experience financial hardship because they don't have insurance when they need it? The fact is, insurance is not gambling. Not having insurance, maybe. Moving on to objection number 3.
As far as the riba involved, because he keeps paying, and when will it be collected? It will be collected extra, because the policy is extra, that if he or his heirs happen to collect the insurance policy. What is this extra money for? It's a debt met with a compensation. It's a loan. I have been given this company, commercial insurance company. So when they give me extra, not for anything that my money was used in a partnership or in murabaha. No, rather it's a promise from the beginning. If you die tomorrow, we'll give you 100 grains. What you paid? Only 1 or 2 or 10 installments. So what is this extra amount for?
First, let's be absolutely clear. Neither the money received by the insurer nor the money received by the insured is a loan, because in both cases there is no obligation to pay back the money received. That's the definition of a loan, an amount of money that you have to pay back. Now, let's talk about riba. The type of riba which is being referred to is commonly known as interest. Interest causes an amount of debt to increase with time. This increase is what is prohibited in Islam. In insurance, one can pay for a short period of time and receive a large amount, and alternatively pay for a long period of time and receive nothing. So clearly, the amount of money received by the insured is not based on the passing of time like interest is. In other words, both elements of interest, that is, the existence of a debt and an increase in the amount of that debt with the passing of time, are absent in insurance. So it definitely does not involve riba. I guess the source of confusion among those who claim that insurance involves riba stems from the fact that an insurance contract is understood as a transaction involving only money. In other words, the only elements in the insurance contract is the money that the insured is receiving and the money that the insurer is paying, or the insurer is promising to pay if a certain event occurs. But this is simply not true. The transaction involves the exchange of two things, and that is money and risk. The insured is selling their risk to the insurer, and because risk has a negative value, they are paying the insurer to buy it from them. Put differently, the insured is buying protection from the insurer. So no debt and no increase in debt with time means there is no interest or no riba al-nasiya, which is being implied in this particular objection. Next objection.
Can we do insurance? Is the main question. Basically, insurance per se is not haram in Islam. Insurance per se. I know many people say insurance is haram, but there's no verse in the Quran which says insurance is haram per se. But because most of the insurance companies, they work on the system of riba, interest, therefore it's haram. So most of the insurance companies in the world, they work on the system of riba, therefore it's haram. Normally, whatever money you give in the conventional insurance company, when you give your money, they keep it in the fixed deposit and they get the money, interest. And if something goes wrong, if the 100 people, 2 people have a problem, so they take the money of 100 people's interest and it may require only 60% people's money and the remaining 40 becomes the profit.
So I believe the argument here is the equivalent of saying, well, buying gasoline isn't haram per se. And because most gas stations also sell alcohol, then buying gasoline from a gas station is haram. Does anyone agree with this? Further, where do people who repeat this argument think that non-insurance related companies keep their cash? They keep it in interest-bearing bank accounts. If you are going to make dealing with any company that uses interest-based products in their operations forbidden in Islam, I don't think you're going to have many products to choose from. Take Apple, for example, the phone manufacturer, Apple, the technology company. So in 2013, Apple held more than $30 billion in interest-bearing loans. Despite this, no one argues that buying an Apple phone is forbidden in Islam, or that buying a washer and dryer from GE, from General Electric, is forbidden because GE operates a huge lending business. So why are we making a specific exception for insurance and saying that it's haram? In my view, so long as the thing you are dealing with is not haram, and the primary source of revenue for the company you're dealing with is not haram, then from an Islamic perspective, you're okay to deal with that product and that company. Remember, the generous Quran says we want ease for you, not hardship. In conclusion, I find that commercial insurance uses cooperation and the law of large numbers to provide much needed financial protection for consumers, which is encouraged in the Quran. The object of sale and purchase in insurance is an amount of financial protection, which is known at the time of sale, so it does not involve gharar. Insurance reduces people's financial risks, so it's really the opposite of gambling. It's not interest or riba because there is no loan, nor is there a contractual guarantee of monetary gain for either party. It does not require the involvement of interest-based products and therefore shouldn't be classified as an interest-based product. Based on this, I find that insurance is permissible in Islam, it's halal, and if you're convinced with what I've said, I encourage you to get insured against the major risks in your life, especially health, automobile, and life insurance, if you can afford to do so. Further, I believe that not purchasing insurance in some cases is inconsistent with the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him's directive to think things through before you claim to depend on Allah. If you turn on your car and you have no plan for what you're going to do in case, God forbid, you get in an accident, I don't think you can claim that you've thought things through before you said that you depend on Allah. Frankly, a more challenging question than is insurance permissible in Islam is not having insurance permissible in Islam. Last note, just because I think that insurance is halal, I'm not saying that the way insurance is provided today is necessarily the most efficient way out there. I encourage people to think about how to make insurance more efficient. And I know you're wondering what I think about takaful, which is erroneously named or referred to as Islamic insurance. Visit my blog to find out, and I encourage you to do so. So that was our episode. I hope you benefited. Please share, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum and peace be upon you all.